can, and then, okay, I see that. Jean-Francois is recording. And let me just say that I don't really know you that well, Lynda, except I know your work for many years. She has been wonderful with my Christmas cards and other cards and matting. And I know that Lynda also is an artist in her own right. She has cards, and I don't know what else you have, but I say the cards, which are beautiful. And then I was very happy to learn that citizen printing has been around for a lot longer, even longer than I have, and in this area. So we thought this would be a good time for Lynda to talk about citizen printing, the history, and the work you do.
Okay.
How's that? How's that? Okay.
That sounds
all right. Good. It's up to you now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
My name is Lynda Dunn. I am the owner of Citizen Printing and have been here for over 33 years. The Citizen Printing actually started back in 1896. The front part of the building was a barber shop, and the print shop was in the back. In 1905, they moved it to where the Burton presently is. And then in 1921, business got so good, they came back, bought the building where the barber shop was, expanded, and we've been here ever since. A lot of people don't know that we even exist, and we've been here for 100 and something years. Yeah. They did used to publish the Allegheny Citizen.
The last edition was in 1976. It actually started.
German Joseph Mutzlechner and his two sons worked with him as well. And when he passed away, his nephew, Mark Moyer, took over. And he stopped the newspaper in 1976, but kept the print shop going. And he sold it to my father in 1989. We did a lot of renovations.
Out the lead
press that was in, and took out a very large letter press that they used to print the newspaper on, because they would set all the type in lead, which was a health hazard at the time, but nobody knew it. And they would do the whole paper with this lead type. And the machine that they had actually had gas jets going over the top of it with little tiny holes. And wow. They turned the gas on to dry the ink as it came through with the paper. So you can kind of guess the idea where hot off the press came from. Fortunately, there never was a fire here, or it would have been gone a long time ago.
Business?
Absolutely nothing. I learned as I went. We computerized. We got pretty much state-of-the-art equipment up to a point. We are now limited for space, so we can't get any more. My partner Paul will tell you, no, there's no more room. But last year we did purchase the equipment from the Inkwell, from Melissa Myers. She had decided to retire and she closed her store. And I thought, and you never know,
print industry.
Everything seems to be, the paper's going away. And right now,
COVID, it's very difficult
to buy paper.
My supplier,
website yesterday.
So I've had to substitute. That's a whole different story.
But going back to the mat cutters, it's a computerized mat cutter, like a CNC machine, and we can do
custom mat, and we also do custom framing. We have several samples up on the front wall and different mats to choose from. So if you ever want pictures matted framed, we can do that. We also produce note cards, envelopes. We do engineering size drawings. If we
here, we do have sources where we can get those things brought in. But we do a whole range of things for a whole range of people, from one or two to thousands at a time. So, and that's about, that's it in a nutshell. That's what we do. We do have an offset press in the back, so I have two other employees besides myself, Paul and Ed, who is my pressman. Paul does about the same stuff I do, but he's much more mechanically inclined, so he can fix things and move things and do that kind of stuff. And he's pretty much the guy that runs the mat cutting machine. So when you get a mat done, it's done by Paul. We can do color copies, black and white. We can do tickets, posters, letterhead, business cards, envelopes.
Linda, how did you get in? How did you get into this business?
My father wanted the building. So the print shop was in it. He bought the building, and the building came with the business. And he said, "Here, try running it." 30 years later, here I am.
So you learned by experience? I mean, by doing, or
Yes.
did you study?
No, I didn't really know anything about it. Fortunately, the first gentleman that I hired was a printer by trade. So he knew how to run the press and would, tell me different things that I needed to do. But it was kind of a hit and miss and asking questions and fumbling around for a while, but kind of getting to where I needed to be, I guess.
Does the fact that you're artistic help?
It certainly doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
I think definitely with the typesetting, being able to, put things together in a logical fashion so that it's readable but still graphically pleasing. I can't say that I'm the best graphic designer in the world, but I do okay.
Yeah, you sure do. But is business worse since the pandemic?
Excuse me?
How has business changed since the pandemic?
Well, like I said, I didn't know where the printing business was going, and that's why I purchased the mat cutting supplies, thinking that if, we didn't have that one section of business, maybe we could pick up, more interest in the other section. It has definitely changed things for us. A lot of businesses that we did things for have gone out of business.
Oh,
And things that you used to do, people aren't using anymore because it's not feasible for them to pay, for something.
Oh.
I mean, menus now, it's cheap paper, fast as you can get it, and as cheap as you can get it done. That's all they want. Because people just want to throw them away. They don't want to keep them. They don't want to clean them. So,
well, I'm glad you do my cards.
but I'm glad you came in.
Well, now, Linda, if someone wanted to have some either cards or maybe a copy, a print of a artistic design or something, what would the process be?
Depending on how they have done it, if they do something electronically, they can obviously, some people do stuff on the computer, they can email it to me as a PDF, and I can print directly from there, which is the best possible copy. If it's something that they do by hand, like say your paintings, either your husband can scan them and send them to me, or you can bring in the original and we can scan it here. And then, picking out what you want for size, quantity, what you're going to do with it depends a lot on what material we're going to use. Because for your cards, we're using an uncoated stock. For something that might be hanging or advertising, we might use a coated stock. It all depends on what your use is going to be at the end.
Do you print on canvas?
I have the ability to print on canvas up to 24 inches wide. It is not cheap.
Mhm.
Yeah, I actually had a customer did an art show, and she had requested a sample on canvas. So I thought, well, I'll get some just to see. And I tried it out, and it, produces very nicely. But when she was doing, I think 60 or 70 prints,
Oh,
they were large ones. So she decided not to go with the canvas because it was so expensive.
Mhm.
But if you're doing a one-off, it's probably not a bad thing.
So I
And
see
Lin-
on your back wall, you have some frames. So you obviously do framing. So if I had a photo on my cell phone, you could print that and then frame it.
I could, assuming that your photo is of good quality. Has
Good
good
quality, yeah,
resolution,
okay.
especially if you're going to enlarge anything. Typically, things that you get off the internet, images that you would get off the internet for things are what they call a resolution of 72. That's for the screen so that you can see it. But to have a decent print, you need a resolution of about 300.
Okay.
Mhm. Linda, I have a question about, do you need some kind of authorization around a piece of art before copying it? Seems to me I brought something in once and you weren't able to copy it. It was something one of my grandchildren had done. Maybe you could explain that process.
Yes, if this is something that you produced yourself, obviously you're the artist. I can make copies because you're the one bringing it in.
Sure.
If somebody else is bringing in something that's copyrighted or a photograph, like say from a photography studio, then I would need permission from that person in order to reproduce it.
Okay. So if I brought in a piece of art that one of my grandchildren or children had done,
Uh-huh.
you would need authorization, I guess, for that? How would that work? Or maybe not.
If it's your grandchild, I'm thinking I could do it. They're not going to get upset, right?
Oh, definitely not. No, at the
Then that
time, I
would
can't
probably
remember.
be okay. But if it is, if they have their artwork and it's copyrighted, if that little C is on there,
I
then
see.
I would need to have permission,
Uh-huh.
even if it is your grandchild.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
yeah, even when I do paintings myself, watercolor, and of something I've seen, I take pictures. I will only use photos that I've taken because they're mine, but I won't use photos from somebody else, for
Mhm.
example. I think everything's legal these days. So Lynn, do you go by Lynn or Linda, by the way?
Either
What do
one.
you have no preference?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So what would be your hopes for your business in this area?
I have never been in business to become rich. I'm in business to employ people, cover my costs. If I can make a little money, that's fine. But I'm not trying to gouge anybody or rip them off because I don't think that's the right thing to do. I like what I do. I think I charge a fair price for things. Some people will tell me that I'm too cheap, but that's what I think the market will bear. I would love to see the business continue. I would love to retire in a couple of years. But that would mean selling the business, and I don't know that anybody's that interested in this kind of work anymore. And what it takes to, run a business in New York State, which is difficult.
Mhm.
But there aren't many printers in this area.
There are a lot less than there used to be. At one time, I think there were 7 or 8.
Oh, wow.
Again, and now I think we're down to 3, 4. So, and
So
then
it seems to me there's a need. I mean,
there is, as long as paper continues to be something that people want. You know, the cloud and the internet and being able to put stuff on your computer is really taken away from people printing. I mean, you don't see a photography shop anymore that you just take your film in to get developed and get photographed. Because it's all on your camera, it's all on your computer. Of course, when you drop your camera or your computer crashes, then if you haven't backed it up, you lose everything. So having a paper backup copy might not be a bad idea.
wow. Well, you're mentioning that you don't have to get rich. It reminds me of the talk we did with Lisa Worth of Worthy Pharmacy. She said the same thing. She says, I'm not here to get rich. Now, for me as a Franciscan, that sounds wonderful. And you do great work.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. I know I've gotten a lot of comments on my card, and sure, it's the watercolor, but it's also how it's presented. I think that makes a difference.
Well, I'm very glad you like them, and you must because you come back every year.
Right, yeah.
I did want to mention, we also sell the books for the Allegheny Historical Association here. We're kind of their drop-off because the center's not open very often. But because we're on the main street and because we've been here forever, they will drop things off here, pick things up here. So we do have their historical book for sale and their Tales of War and Confinement and the River Canoe Trip book
Oh,
that were all published here that we did here for them.
okay, that's good to know. Yeah. Well, we're going to spread your company throughout our Enchanted Mountains Village, and we're so happy you are a member. Right. And we also have, Jean-Francois puts this on videotapes it, so we get a recording. So people who would like to see it who couldn't be here, we can send it. This is what we did with other groups that we've had this Zoom. Is this your first Zoom experience?
Yes, it is.
How has it been for you?
Terrifying.
Have you kept Jean-Francois calm during the process? Well, thank God we have people that could do this. I mean, I think
That's for
that
sure.
it brings, well, certainly we see you, we see your area, we see some of the stuff hanging around, and that's really helpful. So.
And for ending, if your husband can take his camera and kind of pan around the front and just kind of see what we have up front.
Does he?
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be good. Lynda has to leave for a meeting, but we'll tape this. So Jean-Francois, if you're listening, if you could kind of go around the shop so we can see you. At present, we don't see anything. Now we see your shirt.
And a very lovely shirt at that.
I don't know why.
You don't know why.
Can you go around?
He's concentrating very hard.
I know. Well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but let's see if you can try.
See,
Because I've only seen the front part.
okay. This. Yeah. Oops, lose.
Well, maybe you won't get to see the front. You'll have to come in and say,
How's that?
Right, we'll have to come in. That's a good point.
It's very weird. Unless,
We'll give him 1 more minute or two. Let's see.
let's see, if I can just. I'm gonna try to switch. Now. Okay.
There we go. All right, he's gonna take
Now
it
what?
on a tour.
All right, he's carrying it around. Uh-huh. So we see Linda sitting there in some of these big machines, this big machine there. Whatever it is, another big
The
machine.
one he's pointing to now is the wide format color printer. We can print up to 24 inches wide on. That's
Okay,
the one that we could do on the canvas.
Mhm.
okay.
And then this next one is the engineering size copier. It's just a black and white, but we do prints for architects and engineers.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Then we just have a regular black and white copier for if you come in for, you know, a copy of your driver's license or something, we'll just throw it on that.
yeah.
Our main desk for accounting.
Oh, yeah, this is the front, right?
orders.
Oh. Are those your paintings up there?
Yes. Yep, I just have a wall of art because I don't have enough room in my house.
Oh, that's great. They're
I was
lovely.
going to ask what medium you like to work in, and it looks
I
like,
It's oil on masonite.
mhm.
Oh, wow.
Lovely.
Lovely.
And that's the final edition of the Citizen.
Oh.
Wow.
And all the pictures up front here, we framed since we got the new framing equipment. Everything, my artwork in back was pretty much garage sale frames. 'Cause I don't think you should be paying an arm and a leg for a frame, but they do cost money. So,
Oh, that's great.
well, prints of the building and what it looked like many, many years ago. And inside here is some of the things that we found when we bought the business. There's a journal from 1922
Oh, 100 years.
with the prices of, let's see what you can buy. You can get, envelopes for $8. A 30-inch poster for $6. 500 number 10 envelopes was $1.50.
Oh, okay.
Not $1.50 anymore.
Yeah.
And then we just have the frames up front. Choice of different ones you can choose from. I've been trying to get frame samples from the company, but because of COVID, they are not producing them. So I'll have to wait until they come back around for that.
That's a lot.
We do have the note cards that you were talking about for sale as well.
And that's Linda's work.
So that's pretty much it.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, I think of both your art and what's possible. I mean, I think it's a real resource for the community. And, we need to spread the word. And I mean, I don't know how much more business. You don't want to work 24/7,
No, but keeping busy is good too.
Yeah, because
Yes,
Linda also does, to explain what you do, the Tai Chi or the Kung Fu or
Yeah, I do White Crane Kung Fu. My partner Paul and I have been doing that particular style for 20-something years. He actually has been a martial artist for over 40.
Wow.
He instructs and I am the assistant. And we have classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the third floor of the KFC building in Allegan.
Oh, at the KFC. Oh, okay. Is it difficult? Can all ages do this?
What we do is, I'm not gonna say you can't do it at any age, but we find a lot of people that we talk to say, well, I don't want to climb up 3 flights of stairs to get to class.
That's the hardest thing.
But the instructor is the youngest person in class. We have one other person that's just a couple of months younger than me, then myself, and then we have a 66-year-old, a 72-year-old, and a 78-year-old. So
Nice. If you could get up the flights of stairs, you could do it.
that's right.
Well, you certainly are multi-talented, Lynn. Yes, and I am so glad that Citizen Printing is in our neighborhood. It's accessible, it's easy, and you've been really great. And I know we all appreciate you taking this time out to introduce us to yourself and to the business. And we will spread the word and bring you more business.
Okay, and I'm going to offer a 10% discount to village members on framing and matting. So,
Wow, that's thank
Good.
you. Thank you. That's great. You have the and Lynda, is the fact that you have the names enough, or do you think that we should have a business card?
I think if you had a card that people could show, because I'm not going to remember to ask people if they're village members, but if they have their card and they can show it to me, then they could say, yeah, this is my discount.
Okay, well, maybe we'll be asking you to do that.
Oh, okay.
That's a great
We
idea.
have the chair of the department and the secretary here and the treasurer here, and I'm on the board. So
I wasn't drumming for business, by the way, but
I know. But thank you so much. It was really informative and delightful. And Jean-Francois, thank you for doing this too, helping out. I see your side over here.
I-
Thank you.
All right. So,
Thank you so much. Your work is wonderful. I've had things printed there and your work is absolutely wonderful. I appreciate your joining the village.
well, thank you.
yes.
Nice to meet you, Lynn.
Nice to meet you
Look forward
too.
to seeing you.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.